All right. Hi, everybody. I'm going to do a quick review of some quadratic formula right now, just one problem. And then we're going to talk about the discriminant, which is a piece of the quadratic formula. So first, I got to get everything on one side and set equal to 0. So I'm just going to subtract that 2x and add that 5 to move it over. That's going to give me this equation when I move everything over. So I'm moving that over here and that over here. Now my A is 1, my B is -2, my C is 5. My quadratic formula looks like this. Excuse me, sorry. Okay. So now I'm going to plug in my -b. It's going to end up being a +2 because it's a negative number already, and I'm plugging it into a negative scenario. So it's going to turn up to be a +2 plus or minus the square root of -2 squared, because I'm plugging in -2 for the b, minus 4 times a, which is 1, and c, which is 5, all over 2a, which would be 2 times 1. Now I'm going to start simplifying. I know that 2 squared is 4. I know that -4 times 1 is -4, and -4 times 5 is -20. And I know that 2 times 1 is 2. Now, the next thing I can simplify is what's under the square root, which is going to give me 2 plus or minus the square root of -16 over 2. I cannot continue to solve this because there's a negative under the square root, which means that there are no real solutions. Okay. Now I'm going to get into the discriminant. The discriminant is the b squared minus 4ac that in your quadratic formula. So just another reminder, the quadratic formula looks like this. So that discriminant is this piece that's in the quadratic formula, b squared minus 4ac. Okay, so you will be able to find the discriminant anytime you're given a quadratic as long as you have an a, b, and c. If your discriminant, b squared minus 4ac, is greater than 0, that means you have two real solutions, two x-intercepts. If it's equal to 0, that means that you have one real solution, one x-intercept. Here, if it's less than 0, it means you have two imaginary solutions, 0 x-intercepts, or no real solution. Okay, so you have two imaginary solutions, which we won't deal with much in Algebra 1, but you have no real solutions. Okay, and you have 0 x-intercepts, so it never touches that x-axis. Here, it looked like if it bounces off at once, and here you'd have two distinct x-intercepts. Okay, so now if we're given a quadratic formula, we know the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. We can find the discriminant of these three to figure out how many solutions and what types of solutions we have. Okay, so let's do this first one. We want to plug b squared minus 4ac. Our a is 5, our b is 10, and our c is also 5. So we're going to go ahead and plug things in here. So if I plug in 10 for b, 5 for a, and 5 for c. Now I'm going to do my math out. 10 squared is 100. Minus 4 times 5 is 20. I also got to do the 20 times 5. So that's 100 minus 100, which is 0. So if my discriminant equals 0, so this is greater than 0, equal to 0, less than 0. So we're in the middle. That means we have one real solution. And one x-intercept. Okay. One real solution, one x-intercept. Now, if I wanted to know what that one solution and x-intercept is, I'd have to use the quadratic formula to find it. Okay. Let's do another one of these. I'm going to do this one in pink so you can see the separation. So our A is 1, B is -6, C is 10. So I got B squared minus 4AC. I'm going to plug in -6, 1, and 10. That's going to give us 36 minus 4 times 10, 36 minus 40, and that gives us -4. So that's a solution less than 1, less than 0. So greater than 0 would be a number like 4. Equal to 0 has to be 0. Less than 0, any negative number. Okay, so we got a -4. That means we have two imaginary solutions, 0 real solutions, 0 x-intercepts. Okay, so the graph never touches the x-axis here. Here it touches it once. Okay, let's move on to the last problem. A is 1 here, B is -6, C is 8. I'm going to plug that in to my B squared minus 4AC, my discriminant. So I got -6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 8. So I got 36 minus 4 times 8. So I got 36 minus 32, which is +4. That's a positive number. So that goes over here. It's greater than 0. That means I have 2 real solutions, 2 x-intercepts. And we're all set. So they gave us, in this nice worksheet, they gave us one of each scenario. So we had a discriminant equal to 0, less than 0, and greater than 0. So those are going to be your 3 options, and they're going to be asking you what you can identify about the graph or the quadratic based on their discriminant. All right, hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, I will be on the video chat from 11 to 12. Have a great day.